Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Sunday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. How are you? Welcome. I gotta tell you, man, one of those days, it was a tough day today for me. I ain't gonna lie. The day definitely squeezed. Yeah, buddy. Definitely squeezed more out of me. But the good news is it's only 9:20 p.m. I'm gonna meditate for the next hour. I'm gonna really get into my zone for tomorrow because I do not want to carry this energy for tomorrow. And I got big week planned for the week, so we don't want to carry this. And sometimes that happens. You get you get those days that squeezes more out of you, you know. And the thing is this, and I've again, I've been practicing on this. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm practicing. But I practice at least not to carry it. I'm doing my best not to carry it to the next day. You know what I mean? As you're joining me live, let me know you're here because I don't know who's here, who's not here. Tonight, I want to introduce you to this little Persian phrase. I don't know where I picked this up, but I know I've learned this a long time ago. Like, I believe I was early teens. I think that's when I learned this phrase. But it's a phrase that I constantly remind myself when I am I'm in a tough crowd, let's say. If I'm in a tough situation, I'm in a tough crowd, and it's just let's say no way out, and I'm stuck, and just these conversations are coming in, and I'm just not a big fan, right? Let's just kind of call it that. Um, well, what happened was is you know what? This is very going to be strange, but I'm going to switch glasses because I can't see through these because it's got a stain on them, and yeah, much better. That's a trip. Okay, never done before, but yeah. So this is a phrase that I constantly remind myself when I'm in a, like I said, in a tough situation, a bad situation around the crowd that I'm not a really, you know, fan of, and kind of stuck, just can't get out. And it's a phrase that I remind myself to at least ease the pain a little bit, you know. Be money was crack-a-lackin'. So the phrase in Farsi says, ادب از ادب از که آموختی گفت از بی ادبان هرچه آنان کردند من نکردم گفتن ادب از که آموختی گفت از بی ادبان هرچه آنان کردند من نکردم. So what that means is this. They asked them, I'm translating it in literal meaning. It says, they asked them, who did you learn your manners from? And he says, I learned it from those without manners. Whatever they did, I didn't. And I think that's so powerful. I think that's so powerful. You know, who do you, sometimes you're around people that, let's just call them, they're toxic for you. For you, they seem to be toxic. They're just sucking out of the energy and life out of you when you're around them, right? Well, and that sucks. That really sucks. But, you know, you can use that and say, well, what are the characteristics, or what are the behavior patterns, or what are the some of the principles or values or thoughts that this person carries, and as a result they are this kind of a person. So you can learn against those. See, if their principle is lie, cheat, and steal, you can say, well, That's not gonna fly with me. I ain't gonna lie, cheat, or steal, right? So you can you can you can learn to unlearn, right? If you would, I guess you can pick up on the stuff not to do, right? Pick up on the stuff that um, is not a match with your values, with your morals, with your principles. It just doesn't match up with what you got going on, right? And I want you to know that we can't filter out people around us all the time. See, we can try, right? There's people that, we can definitely say, okay, this person no longer, I do not want this person in my life anymore. And you can just put them aside and that's it. You can disconnect, right? Completely done, right? But then there's those people that you can't do that to. I mean, maybe they're family, maybe they're coworkers, maybe they're just, maybe they're just people that you just can't. Now you can limit, like Jim Rohn used to say, you can limit your association with them, but you can't completely cut it out, right? So what do you do in those scenarios? You apply this phrase. ادب از که آموختی گفت از بی ادبان آنچه آنان کردند من نکردم. Who did you learn your manners from? From those without them. From those without principles, without morals, without values, without manners. I saw what they do. I saw how they talk. I saw how they walk. I saw how they. And I decided against all that. So I don't do that. I see how they treat people and I don't treat people like that. I'm like, aha, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because I learned that is not a proper way of treating people. You see that? So you can learn from like the worst people. Like when I used to coach phone sales in loans and mortgages, when I used to coach, when somebody would come in and I would have to train them, I would actually put them to listen to calls of some superstars, obviously. But I was the only guy that would have them listen to some horrible calls. I was the only guy that I would say, you know what, you need to listen to this call and make that as an example not to do stuff you can't do, right? And if we deny that side of learning or that opportunity to learn, I think we miss a lot. Even though it could be draining, it could be just, but after some time, hopefully you get to work on yourself and you get to do better, around the persons or the people, if you would. But meanwhile, if you eliminate that part of learning and experiencing, I think you're gonna miss like half of the equation. Because it's great to have great examples, it's like awesome to have great examples, but then you need crappy examples. Like for example, Hitler, okay? You need that guy. You need that as a symbol of evil, right? You need that guy. Why? Because you can say, you know what, I'm not gonna. Do you know how many people have looked at him and said, oh my goodness, that is inhumane. I would never, right? And like, I'm not comparing anybody to Hitler, and I'm certainly not saying anything that lessens the pain and the darkness, the torture of that era. That's not what I'm saying. But see, if you didn't have dark, and you hear this, right? Then how would you know light if it was always light? If 6 months out of the year you just were experiencing light and there was no darkness, imagine that life. They have that in North Pole, right? So what I'm saying is that sometimes these scenarios, these situations are meant to be. And like sometimes you don't know what the heck they're meant to be, but they're meant to be. And I encourage you to entertain that as well. Entertain the guys without morals, entertain the guys without no values, no faith, no anything, no responsibility. Have those guys in front of you. If you would have a mental image of how destructive that is, and learn from that, and be the opposite, right? And I think that's powerful because we can learn from the Tony Robbins and the gurus, and we can learn from all kinds of people, right? But one thing we can't learn from these folks is what not to do. So they duplicate, they share with you what not to do from the lives of the unsuccessful. Sometimes they went through it. They had that phase of unsuccessfulness, and then they switched the flip, or flip the switch, and here we are, right? So I want you to pay attention. I'm asking you to pay attention to those as well, because again, like you can like I said, you can definitely miss the boat on some good learning. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration. Like I said, I'm done for the night. In the next 5-10 minutes, I am gonna be shutting everything down. I need to meditate. I need to get rid of the energy, if you would, the vibe of today, and set myself up for a great week. And I pray that you do the same as well. Hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, and some Farsi lessons as well. And drop your thoughts, your comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, then do what you got to do. Share away. And until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.